Well, guys, I got purple .5 fluid in here. The brakes are nice and bled. As you can see, it's snowing outside, so I can't even test this out. But one thing I want to show you guys, I always say you learn something every day, and I learned something. These tops have a vent hole, okay? It's a tiny little hole. Now let's go over the other side here. See if I can find that guy. There it is. See that hole right there? See that little hole? Now underneath the top of this lid, there's another hole. Now, when I took this off, I had condensation on the inside of the aluminum piece here, because you have the aluminum piece here, and then underneath here you have that rubber gasket, and then the brake fluid. Now, what I'm going to, I don't suggest for anyone else to do this, but this is what I'm going to do next year. I'm going to put a piece of tape over that hole only when I store the motorcycle, so that no condensation will go underneath here. Because yeah, I took this off. There was actually condensation of water underneath the aluminum part. It didn't go into brake fluid, but it was on top of the rubber gasket that's underneath this, and that's all from that little wee hole there. So that's what I'm going to do next year when I store this for the winter. I'm going to put a piece of black tape over that, or a piece of Scotch tape, so no condensation will go inside here. See, a motorcycle, bros, a motorcycle is meant for warm weather. It's not meant for cold weather. Now, the next thing we have to do here is I have to jack the back up, and I got to wash the belt. Because the belt's cold. The belt's probably got condensation on it as well. We have to wash the belt. And the tires actually, when I mounted these tires, you guys know I mounted the tires myself. Neither one of these loses air. They are both. Neither one loses air. And the reason why they don't lose air, man, is because I polished where the bead seals on the wheels. That's why when I mounted them correctly, because the bead is washed on the inside of the wheel. So I got to wash my belt. We'll make sure that's lined up in the back. It probably still is. And I haven't changed the engine oil on this yet. I might wait till it gets a little warmer to do the engine oil. I looked into trading this in. Man, they're not even close. They can't even give me... Listen to this. They'll only give me $5,000 on a trade-in on this. And... no way. I can understand $7,500. I'd do $7,500, but $5,000, man. I put way too much time into this bike to get it where it is right now. I mean, there ain't no way in hell I'm gonna let this go for I think it's $5,150 for a freaking trade-in. And on top, you're trading it in for another used motorcycle. All the Harleys I was looking at. I was looking at an Ultra Classic. I was looking at an Electric Glide. I was looking at a Heritage Deluxe. They all have like 50,000 miles on them. I mean, God only knows what they need. They might need a belt, a clutch, brakes, tires. The engine might be leaking oil somewhere. Just look at what I did to this, and this motorcycle only has 5,000 miles on it. I don't have time to do all that stuff anymore. I really don't. So I'm going to hang on to this a little while longer. I still don't know if I want to try to sell it. You know, I know it's a waste of time to try to sell a motorcycle like this. Because, guys, what you have to understand is whether it's a canine or a Ridgeback, they're not going to sell. These bikes, these kind of choppers don't sell. I don't care if it's an American Iron Horse. The only way they'll sell is if you have a crazy paint job on it. Otherwise, what the guys want, I'll tell you what they want. They want a motorcycle with a sofa for a seat. In other words, they want comfort. And they want all the little electronic gadgets that the bike has. They want to be able to get on that bike, start it up, and take off. They don't want to wait for it to warm up. They want to have the GPS on the bike. They want to have a radio on there, you know. They want to have Bluetooth where they can hook up their iPhone on. That's what people want today. That's why whether you have an Iron Horse, a Ridgeback, or a Canine, they ain't gonna sell. People don't want these now because they want all the little goodies on there. You know, these motorcycles they make today, the new motorcycles they make today, even some of the used ones, they're push button start. They have alarm systems on them. That's what people want, and they don't care. You know, they don't care what they have to pay. You know, because they don't want to get lost somewhere. They're scared they're going to get lost. You know. You know, there's an old saying that there's no more real men around. You know, and there's a lot of truth to that. I don't want you people out there to take offense. You know, don't get butthurt over what I'm saying, but that's the general consensus of today is all the John Waynes are gone. They're all gone. So hopefully maybe toward the end of the month it's going to start warming up a little bit and I can get this out finally and test my front brake. You know what, I might do that rear brake caliper too, man. I might take that off as well and at least refinish the pistons in the caliper, not even replace the seals in it. You know, just refinish those pistons in there. I think that's a real good thing to do. I mean, you guys that have older bikes, even some of your older, it doesn't even have to be a big dog, whatever, even a Japanese motorcycle, you take those calipers apart and take a good look at those pistons. If there's any marks in them, any wear in them whatsoever, any age to the piston, buff those guys out, man. Buff them down to a mirror shine. Because when they're a mirror shine, they seal better. And you get more power to your brake because they're working, the pistons in your brakes, once they're shined, they're working 100%. You know, and it might matter. You might be able to tell the difference. You know, with a new surface to your brake pistons, you'll have 100% braking power. You know, plus you get to inspect your brakes, which is what you should do on a motorcycle. That's why I told people a long time ago, man. I tell everybody a motorcycle has a lot of maintenance. You know, it's not like on a car. You don't take the calipers out in the car, off on a car, and take the pistons out of car calipers. You're just not going to do that. You know, number one, because they're harder. They're harder to get out because they're bigger, and it's more work. You know, but your life isn't hanging on a string like it is on a motorcycle. You know, a motorcycle, your brakes have to be really good. The brakes should be working 100%. So I think that's a good idea to take those brake pistons out and refinish them. I think that's definitely a must You know, that's the first. That's actually the first time I did that. And depending on how this is, I just might do the rear with ones like that too. But I want to show you guys that little vent hole. Also, make sure that's open. You can blow that out. Maybe you can put a pin in there or blow it out with air compressing, with an air compressor. But, you know, I'm not telling you guys to put a piece of tape over that when and only when you store your bike. That's what I'm going to do next year, because that'll keep the condensation out of there for when it's like 20 degrees in here and 10 degrees and maybe even 0 gets in here. And then before I take the bike out, naturally I'm going to take the piece of tape off that vent hole. So, all right.